What is good? We're live. We're off. We're running. Got a fun live show for you today. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the website extraordinaire. Grayson, shout out to you. We got the roster reviews pretty much ready to go. Version 1 out to the public now. So you can come over to the website and check out the roster reviews. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in and asked about them. They're available on the website. We'll get into some of that a little later. Don't want to inundate you with it off the rip, but they are available, both personalized and automated on the website. So make sure you go check that out, ffdynasty.com. Chev, BigCo, how we feeling today? How we doing?
Hit him, Chev. My dishwasher's broke, so take off, bud.
Ooh. I was gonna say like a Viagra pill with a face, but I would be alone in that assessment.
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I could be a Cialis with a face, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you could be a honey pack with a face.
I'm actually pumped up about my YouTube videos tomorrow, trying to figure out how to fix my dishwasher. So I'm about to have that thing fixed before lunch.
I've been drinking green tea all day. I'm freaking pumped. All right. I wanted to jump in and Egbuka is on the title, on the thumbnail here. I did want to talk a little Egbuka to start. We got some questions to answers. We'll do a full-on roster review of somebody who got one in early for us, so we'll hit one of those. But let's jump into it here. We got Emeka Egbuka. He's been kind of rising up the charts here a little bit. Nothing crazy, but he's up a couple spots, and he's right now. He's just recently in recent last 24 hours climbed up 6 additional spots. He's at player number 24 overall in PPR. Seems like maybe a little high, although I want to be in the Egbuka sweepstakes. But how are we feeling about Emeka Egbuka's dynasty value currently and moving forward? Where are we at with Egbuka here?
Buy. And that's not the NSYNC song.
So you're in. Which is, I feel like you might have been hesitant on Egbuka a little bit at the beginning or end of I don't remember, beginning of last season when he was on fire.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I'm choosing to believe. Like we all have. There's only a few players that there's crystallized takes on. Like somebody out there is like, man, I'm fading Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like you probably should just never listen to what they have to say ever again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but for these guys, this is where the fun in Dynasty comes, because you got to trust, you got to plant your flag, you got to put your nuts on the table, and sometimes you got to be early to a party. I feel like you could be early to the Emeka Egbuka party. I mean, if you're not going to hold the second half against Baker, you can't hold it against Emeka Egbuka. You can't hold it against Bucky Irving. Like we know that that's a really good environment, a really good offense. We think that Zach Robinson's an okay offensive coordinator. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's not going to be the best branch off the McVay tree, but we have clarity of role. They said he's going to play off the ball. He's going to play basically like what Drake London did, playing Z, playing off the ball, being able to be moved around. So what's there not to like? First round draft capital from a team that drafts receivers really well, almost hit 1,000 yards, was on pace for like 1,400 yards. Then injuries just slowly derailed the whole operation. And to be honest with you, Jeremiah's mentioned it before. He probably kind of hit that rookie wall in addition to having the hamstring injury. So it's really hard for me not to paint an aggressive picture. I hold my crayons like this when I talk about Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, I like it. It. Let's see.
All right. So BigCo, how are you feeling about Egbuka here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in.
Wide receiver 8.
I'm using the website right this second for just so in my crowdsource ranking, he's wide receiver 10. I don't think I'm taking him ahead of Tet. So and Tet's right ahead of him. I can take him over Ladd, take him over Pickens. He's over Ladd and Pickens to be at that 10. So I'm supposed to move CeeDee Lamb down, because is this just
so you're on tight end premium? That's why we were on PPR.
Okay. Well, if I'm just
either way,
the wide receiver tab, if I have the wide receiver tab, then there's no tight ends on the page. I'm just looking at I'm not going to take him over Neighbors. I'm not going to take him over Drake London, and to move him up, then we're just looking at it's basically Igbuka versus CeeDee Lamb if he's going to move up, because he's not going to go over Jefferson. He's not going to go over St. Brown, obviously. I think he's properly rated at wide receiver 10-ish.
Feels right. All right. BigCo. Casey, before we jump to the next part of this discussion. All right. I think I know the answer for both of you guys, but Igbuka or Pickens?
Igbuka.
Ibuka.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Got him ranked higher. So yeah, Ibuka. All right, we got some swipes going on here to start the episode. Ibuka or Jefferson? We're going Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
Josh Allen. We're going Josh Allen. Early 26 first or Ibuka. Obviously, if it's the 101, we're saying love, but anything else, we're pretty much in Ibuka's court for the most part here. It seems like, right?
Well, I mean, that's what our rankings say.
Yeah, it doesn't say 1-1, but I mean 1-1, 1-2. You could argue to take Mendoza at 1-2 and do that before he comes off the board if you need to. But that being said, I probably, unless like you said, it doesn't, it's probably Igbuka. Just early would mean 1 through 4. Right. So most times that's going to be not the 1-1.
Yeah, I would say if it's not love, then it's Igbuka, and we'll go with Igbuka on that side. Igbuka or Puka, we're going with Puka. All right, Luther Burden or Igbuka?
Igbuka.
I could take Puka.
Okay. Malik Neighbors, we just went through it a minute. It's still Malik, right?
Yes.
Yep, still Neighbors.
Okay. Kenny 3 Sticks or Emeka Igbuka?
I have to consult the Oracle real quick. Hold on.
I'm taking Igbuka there, but if in redraft it's Walker and it's not even close.
In redraft it's Walker, yeah. Okay. We're looking at this is we're on the tight end premium setting now. We've switched over. Shout out to all you guys too. I mean the swipes have been going crazy here the last couple of days, so we appreciate y'all. Up over 800,000 swipes, so that's awesome. Chev, where do you stand here? 3 Sticks or Igbuka?
I literally have them. We have them back to back in our rankings. This is the closest one so far. Let's see here. I have Igbuka at 45. I have 3 Sticks at 41. So I'll go 3 Sticks.
I'm gonna take Igbuka there.
I know you would.
Igbuka or Omarion Hampton? It's Hampton, right?
Hampton.
All right.
Yeah.
Igbuka or JT?
Taylor.
Yeah, I have JT ahead.
In 2 years, that's going to look like a probably terrible call because the way the running backs go, and he's a young wide receiver, and I think he's probably close to a stud. But
Remy,
JT,
you gotta have the
JT's
thing.
JT.
Like you gotta have. I mean, he's got to take a step forward, and JT's got to prove to you that. I mean, JT's got to fall off.
Yeah, 2 things.
Like, what if JT's baby Derrick Henry? What if he's eternal?
Yeah, I mean, this just comes back to the discussion of when the value after this year, if things go well for Igbuka and things even just go the same for Jonathan Taylor, it's 2 ships passing in the night on value. That doesn't mean that it's going to be points in your lineup. And right now, we've got Taylor in the foundational contender tier here, which is your aged out cornerstone essentially, and our ascending stars tier here we have Emeka Igbuka, right?
I mean, if Taylor's a top 5 running back again with no legit injury, I don't think they necessarily pass in tonight. I think that's still another year or 2 down the road.
You do. I think at 28, we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see just naturally. That's just
he was
the dynasty, just the community. Like
he was
not us,
absolutely
not us
dominant last year.
Sure, I agree. But like even still, I mean, how old's Barkley right now?
29.
29.
He'll be 30.
And Saquon's been the golden child way more than Taylor's ever been.
Yeah.
You could argue that Taylor's probably been more productive per year throughout career, maybe.
I would say JT's probably been more consistent. I mean, the worst season that we've gotten from JT in the last 3 years is 17 points a game.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot like the Derrick Henry arc. It's just nobody seems to care.
Yeah.
Chev, we need to get a video stat of Taylor working out with Derrick Henry and talking to his personal chef, figuring this thing out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, bro, he ran for 1,400 yards in 14 games 2 years ago. And then he was on pace for like 2,500 the first 10 games of last year. It's just because, so here's what's going to happen. And sorry for taking so long.
No, I love it.
But here's what's going to happen. The reason that Ibuka passes him in value, even if he doesn't pass him in points per game, is you get those dynasty players that are all about like, well, I have to have this guy's too old, and I'm afraid that I'm going to get left holding the bag, so he doesn't fit my build. Right. So you just cordon off a section of your league. We talked about this on the episode, where they can't trade for JT because he's 28 years old.
Right. And what, that's just, and I'm not saying obviously this has been going on forever, but just like, and I'm not saying that's even the wrong approach to just be on sort of the offensive of the value police there. But I do think we've said this a million times, like, there is a point where you have to try to win, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'm really close, but hey, I got a couple of guys who are aging, so I'm going to sell them and restart this process a little bit. And that's a little bit of the problem that we have just overall with value sometimes, is that, hey, if you're doing a brand new startup and you want to be on the younger side of things, I get it. But
Sure.
Like when you're in a built league and it's running, like, you're absolutely right, BigCo. Like, I would much rather have JT, I think, unless Ibuka comes out and moves into like the cornerstone tier this year because he's that damn dominant. That JT is going to absolutely be the player that you want in your lineup for the next 2, maybe even 3 years, right? I mean, somebody at his physical athletic specimen they're kind of showing us right now that obviously he's had the ankle thing, but really they're showing us right now that we're moving that age bell curve a little bit. So
yeah, well, so everything Chev said, like, I was physically beat down and hurt over the Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, David Johnson era. Okay, so they literally got all three of them within what, a season and a half.
Well,
they rug pulled out from under us. If Le'Veon Bell has a better agent and doesn't hold out and doesn't miss that season with the Steelers. And props to the Jets, by the way, who tried to not jet for once in their life and just like, hey, let's get the best running back on the market. We suck. He's going to come over here. Was actually pretty decent that first year, but it was the Jets. But anyway, so Fred, David Johnson disappeared on me. Todd Gurley got massively hurt, and that was horrible. And, just in the Le'Veon Bell situation, I was invested heavily in those three guys. And so, but before that, Casey, we were together we were in the Matt Forte era. We were in the Fred Jackson era. You know what I mean? Like, where guys were playing in their 30s and being really, really good at it. So like, it just, if Jonathan Taylor if anybody can do it outside of Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor's smooth. He's powerful. He's everything, right? He could be a monster for a couple more years. What can he be?
Yeah, no, I don't have any doubt about it. I mean, I think a lot of these elite backs are going to stay elite here. Obviously, things can happen. How bad do you want it? And how bad do you want to train for it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I think it's going to be for, Saquon. I don't think Saquon and Henry are kind of already proven that to the most part. I think CMC is going to be right in there too. Like, you're just, these guys really want it. Like, and I'm not trying to talk any shit about Alvin Kamara. He got hurt last year, but like, I mean, I don't think he's working like those other dudes are working. Would you think that that's fair to say?
I mean,
at least as far as like maybe what he's putting in his body and how he's working. Like, I'm not saying he's not working out. I'm just saying, like, he might not care quite as much to extend the bell curve.
Well, I mean,
but he was solid. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, just before you get going, they didn't make as much money.
Correct.
So they had, like, you know what I mean? So like, even so, Alvin Kamara was right there in the first. It was right there in those guys where the contracts got ridiculous. You know,
well, he came of age as our guys were as the David Johnsons of the world were falling off a cliff, and Todd Gurley was winning Offensive Player of the Year. And I mean, Gurley was just an unfortunate, the powers that be in the universe just decided his body didn't respect his desires to get a gold jacket. That's all. Mm-hmm. We can't hold that against him. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But Le'Veon, we did go through a period of time where we got Sean Alexander repeatedly, and it did not feel good. And I think
and he got paid.
Yeah, and I think a decade later, we're still kind of feeling that regret. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like to your point though, Casey, he's been getting these little nagging injuries, and that's kind of, it is attrition, right? Not everybody's gonna come with it. Like we can't have everybody come with us.
Right.
So Alvin Kamara ends up in the Hall of Very Good. We get 3 strong seasons from JT. You're talking all decade, potentially Colts Ring of Honor, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's going to get a gold jacket because I only feel like Derek, Saquon, and CMC are going to get those. But,
yeah. And they're just, they're just on a different level of wanting it. It just, I think, I'm not trying to down talk. How those guys are going about their just lives, like they're like with Tom Brady, like he made his whole life about longevity through this process, and that's what it's going to sort of take for you to want to continue on of like, hey, money's not the motive, playing and winning is the motive, right? That's so anyway, all right. Brock Bowers or Egbuka and tight end premium is Bowers, and we can pretty much wrap this up here. Egbuka or Mahomes is still Mahomes for me.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's in the Mahomes camp here. Okay. Yeah. Drake London or Egbuka, we can end there. I think it's still Drake London for everybody, right?
Yeah.
He's in our cornerstone tier. Correct. Chris Olave or Egbuka. I lied. One more.
I've got Olave 6 spots higher or 8 spots higher.
BigCo?
I'd feel if I'm on the clock, obviously everybody wants Olave more, so I'd trade back. I'd feel more comfortable, I think, with Egbuka. But 1-to-1, no options. I'd probably just take Olave.
I got Olave 2 spots higher, 1 spot higher. Nico Collins is in between him and Egbuka, but I could be talked into Egbuka pretty easily there. So I'm going to take Chris, but we're going to
the easily there, is 3 years younger and no concussion history. That's really it,
Right.
One of those might not matter, but you put them both together, and like you said, I could be easily talked to. That's why I'll try to take a 3rd round pick to back up 4 or 5 spots and take Egbuka instead of Olave.
Yeah. Packer 124. He says, I have the 1st and the 3rd pick in my 10-man 1 QB rookie draft. Who should I take? What do you think here, boys?
Well, 1st pick is the love. There's no question about it. And 1 QB, Tate's going to go 2. So I would trade up from 3 to 2 to get Tate and have a lot of fun. Or if you don't want to pay anything extra and the guy won't come off of 1-2, then you just take Jordan Tyson and roll with it. 1 QB, Mendoza slides way down.
Of course.
And 10 team, he's not even a 1st round pick anymore.
Exactly.
What'd you think, Chev?
But go ahead, Chev.
No, hold on. You about to turn the fun meter up, aren't you?
No, I was don't let him, because I've been guilty of this in the past, and I've read an article 4 or 5 years ago. I would love to quote somebody on it, but I have no idea. But it was like, 2nd and 3rd round rookie picks, getting that in 1 quarterback league, getting that quarterback that slides way down. Right. So like in a 10-man league, 1 quarterback, you barely need a quarterback. But somewhere in the middle of the 2nd, late 2nd, wherever the guys that are they actually run out of, bettable talent, bankable opportunity, just take Mendoza and put him on the bottom of your bench and have a quarterback, because there's so much opportunity for him to succeed and so much leash for him to fail.
But not a 3, right? That's not what you're saying.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the back of 2nd round.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For 10-team league, 1 quarterback, he slides way back. I'm just saying, don't forget about him once you get past, I mean, I would
Yeah,
have.
I
I'm
would say
taking him
mid
at Johnson. I'm taking him at Johnson first.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
mid second round is probably where you're seeing one QB or later for Mendoza there. So yeah, I mean it's either to me it's your choice of Tyson or Lemon at 3, right? Who do you take, Chev?
Yeah.
You said Lemon or Tyson at 3?
Right, because I mean you're probably not getting Tate. You know, if you can get Tate, then you're taking Tate at 3, but most likely it's going to go Love Tate, right?
Yeah. I mean, that in that event, I'd have to go Tyson.
What would I do think the Lemon hate has really spiraled out of control from how much love he had, and now it feels like nobody wants Lemon, and I'll take Lemon all day. But I agree, I would take Tyson in this situation, I believe. But what are you going to say, Chev?
I think that there's just a higher passing volume, higher passing ceiling immediately to get that immediate. And that's, I mean, and we could honestly be sitting here looking at it the wrong way. We had Lemon ahead. He's in a good system that can support 2 wide receivers. We could be big braining the shit out of this and just end up looking like fools because Mekhi Lemon is fine. There was a reason why he ascended to some people's wide receiver 1, even though Jordan Tyson was a wide receiver 1 in like November and it was stamped. Then he gets hurt again, and now you have all the concerns. So, I mean, just pick your poison. Whoever you have the most conviction on in that scenario. Like it's a big tier. Hell, KC Concepcion is available later, but I told you towards the end of it, I was like, I feel like he belongs in this tier too, man. So yeah, I choose your own adventure there. I wish I had something more definitive to tell you. I don't have. The only thing I was definitive about is that Cornell Tate's a wide receiver 1 for me.
I think the way I would choose my adventure there real quick is just back with 1 quarterback and start 10-man league. I would probably go for the Tyson upside over the Lemon safety. I think you're right, Casey. I think Mekhi Lemon's an absolute stud, and I think people I think you need to use the recent ridiculousness as a good opportunity, especially in a startup. He can only go so far in a rookie draft because he doesn't, if you're running back needy, you might squeeze Jadarian Price in there. If it's a big time tight end premium, you might throw a tight end in there. But like for the most part, Lemon's going to go 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, and that's where he needs to go. But in a startup, all the other options on the board, he could really slide down a little bit because of the ridiculousness, and that's a great buy-in opportunity. See how far is he right there between Tyson and Lemon there?
Yeah, I mean, 701 right now on Lemon for
that's
June
a massive. That's exactly what I would.
Right, I've been
506. That's a round and a half in a startup versus 1 or 2 picks in a rookie draft. That's a perfect illustration. Nice job to be able to pull that up so quickly on the website there, Casey. But anyway, so in a smaller league like that, and you need all the points in your starting lineup, the massive amount of points in a 10-man league. So I think the upside of Tyson's physical ability and his comparison to maybe can he be, poor man's Jamar Chase, all that stuff. If it was a start 18 league, like some people are coming out with these days, maybe the safety of Lemon and he just looks like a professional wide receiver, that's how I'm going to choose my adventure. I'm taking Tyson over Lemon in a much smaller push your studs to the front type league.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, okay. And then we're going to get to Tang's question here. And then we got a bunch of questions in the queue, and we got some roster reviews. Roster reviews are live on the website. We've got ones that we can do personal, that you can have them be, as a video out in the wild, or we can do private ones for you. We also have automated ones for sale in a tier, also by themselves, that kind of use all of our data and information and spit you out something to tell you a direction to go with your team and how to get there. And then, of course, you can get in the Discord that's paid as well and ask questions about it. Is a great way to go about that roster review there for right now. It's in the $15 a month tier to get you 1 roster review, trying to keep it relatively cheap out there for the homies. And Patreon has basically moved over to the website at the $7 tier, the $7 holler. Now you get the free the extra episode, all the rankings, the trade calculator, everything for $7. As long as the premium access to the Discord. And then as you move up in those channels, the channels grow in priority, right? If you're in the $15, then you get the roster review and a little bit higher priority of answered questions. So great way to go over there. And we are going to do a roster review near the end of this thing to let you guys kind of check it out and see what it looks like. And then, we'll do how we always do and go through your roster, talk about it, answer the question. So real quick though, how much would you trade from 3 to get up to 2 if you're this fella here to try to secure Tate? How much is that worth to you? Is that worth a next year's pick? Is that worth a next year's second?
2-3 swap. But if you're in a 2-3, if you're up there at the front of the draft already, 10 team, it gets a little easier to be at the front of the draft. And if you're going to be a bad team again, Jordan Tyson and Lemon are really, really good, right? Tate is another level of funness right this second. They got, especially Lemon. I mean, Tyson, he got drafted, 2 picks later? You know what I mean? At right this minute, I don't want fire shots at Chev, but like the Saints are a much better offense than the Titans, and we think. I mean, it seems like Cornell Tate. Hey, watch out, Chev. It seems like Cornell Tate is obviously the wide receiver 1 of the future over there. There's the Wendell Robinson talk about target distribution to get started. I don't think there's going to be any lack of targets going Tate's way. But I think the upside of Tyson's right there enough to not like overpay. I forget what I paid to make that 1 pick swap in that league, Chev. I'll go look real quick.
What do you think, Chev? Is it worth paying to try to get up there and get Tate, or do you just kind of stay at 3 or nobody mentioned trading back? Everybody is staying where you are for the most part and trying to make those picks. Obviously, if you're in a bit of more of a rebuild, maybe you do want to trade back and just get more assets potentially. If you're a bit more of a contender, maybe stay up here and just try to push your chips all the way in and maybe go up to get Tate if you feel a little better about it. But would you spend a 27-2 to get Tate to go from 3 to 2? Is that too much?
I feel great about standing pat. If I can't, I would want to get something back. Like if I give you the 1-3 and a 27-2, give me a 27. Like BigCo said, give me a 27 third back. Or
I gave a third. I don't feel good about the 2. Even the 2-3 swap is aggressive unless you think you had some injuries and your team is good. And you're like, all right, well, next year, my Nico Collins was on IR and my Rashee Rice was on IR and my tight end got hurt. You know what I mean? Like you're like, if you can point to an entire wide receiver room getting hurt or all your running backs got hurt last year and you're like, all right, well, I'm the 1-3 this year. I'm going to trade up to the 1-2, but I'm really like a playoff team for sure. Now I can do a 2-3 swap or give you a 2 and get some junk back to kind of make it feel better. But like if I suck, I want my second round pick next year too.
Sure.
In this scenario here, Chev, we in the F5 Dynasty League, I was at the 1-4. The court being the super flex, Mendoza goes at 1-2. So on the clock at 1-3 was Cornell Tate. I was at 1-4. I gave the 27-3 to move up 1 pick. So I gave a 3rd round pick next year to move up 1 pick to get Tate. I had a bunch of picks, and I knew that I could make a trade back.
I mean, that's easy. That's an easy move. I think if you can get that done, I'm into that.
Yeah, I can get involved with that.
No,
I'm just saying, like,
that's a no sweat guarantee right there.
Yeah,
that's not. No, it's not. That a 27-3. Go ahead, Chev.
I'm just saying, if the dude's sitting there and he's just rejecting any sort of negotiations, he's like, yeah, just send me feet pics and I'll give you, like if you get to that point, then and you're like, all right, well, what's it really going to take here? What's it really going to take? And you're like, all right, I'll give you a 27-second. It just, at that point, you have to be fully convicted on Cornell Tate. And I know that there's a lot of people who are not. So that's why, I mean, like I am. That's why I said I would, but it's also not the most sound process if your team really sucks to be pushing draft capital, out the door and not giving yourself opportunities to get better. So
boom.
That
the guy hits well said, Chev. The dude said I had Neighbors, Hampton, and Loveland last year. So there's 3 players that got hurt. Loveland did do well at the end of the season. He was just rookie, did start out kind of slow. But like in this exact scenario, I had Neighbors, Joe Burrow, and Sam Laporta on the IR. And, so I had my, three of my top 5 best players go on the IR very early in the season. And I gave my third next year knowing that I'm not going to be in the front of the draft next year if things work out for me. Obviously, I could get hurt again, but likelihood I'm a back half of the first round pick next year instead of the top half of the first round pick.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into this other question, and then we'll jump into some questions on the website here. Travis Etienne versus Javonte Williams as the RB3. I'm going Javonte there. We just did an episode overvalued. BigCo's not going to like it.
I'm taking ET. I'm taking ET right there.
Okay. And we can chat about that for a second, but Jeremiah had Javonte listed at overvalued, which, there he made some sound points, but I just feel like at Javonte, he's slightly younger. I trust the offense a little bit more. He's gotten paid. And there's really no other backs in there that I'm terribly worried about. Whereas ETN, we just talked about Kamara. We don't know what the play to him is. And I'm not going to say that he's going to come in here and ruin it. But I mean, if Kamara sticks around, he could really rough up Travis Etienne's season here, and just take some PPR floor away, and what if Kamara comes out and looks decent, right? I mean, and they obviously paid Travis Etienne, so they're going to use him. And they've got it. They got to have a plan, and I would assume a lot as well. But they're also going to run a lot of plays and throw it a decent amount. So, if
Catches.
Alvin Kamara can fit into that, the pass game a little better than ET does, in maybe his final year, maybe they trade him. I don't know. But also Devin Neal is there, and they've got some other players. Javonte's path is pretty clear, and while I think Travis Etienne is the better player, the volume, I think the just sheer volume numbers for me makes me lean Javonte a little bit there. Just a cleaner, easier conversation there. Also in that overvalued thing, Colson Loveland led the show off, BigCo.
That's what you said. I wasn't going to like it.
Yeah.
This is some wild stuff. This is some wild people. So some people in this industry are trying to come up with everything they can to show you why Colson Loveland isn't that good. And then there's other people on the side of this industry that are going like, look at this unicorn here. Look at this guy. Look at what's happening here. And it's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
You guys are trying too hard.
Generally, the only overvalued is literally just, hey, we're trying to go find guys that hey, it could be a little overvalued. What basically like, hey, could I trade back from Loveland to Warren or Fannin and get a decent amount on top? And would that be worth doing? That's probably not a terrible idea. I don't think the range of outcomes are terribly different throughout those guys. The environment much better there, but target competition a little stiffer. So anyway, we don't need to get into that. It's a show coming out next week, and then you can defend that later.
I got 10 seconds. I got 10 seconds. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at this point. Right this minute, you can go down from Loveland and get you a Warren, Fannin, or Kraft and come out with something real pretty in the middle of those guys. So that's not a bad take. It's just that Ben Johnson, you trust in that ridiculous draft capital. You better hope it don't go wrong for you. That can work out. And I'll take that. I'll make that the junior to the conversation. I don't want to go off on a crazy tangent here, but just if I was thinking all day today about how much you could get if you just drop down from Bijan to somebody the next spot from Gibbs, you could put a whole team together and still come out, with some. You could go from Bijan to Achane and probably get 2 starters.
I was gonna say Bijan to Genti probably for some people wouldn't be like a crazy haul. You still get something good, but like Bijan, if you get right now, Achane's got some stink on him a little bit. So yeah,
Bijan to Achane still gets you more than a first.
Bijan to Genti.
I mean, Bijan to Genti gets you more than a first. Bijan to Achane feels like a mile. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, all right, keep going. So. I'm taking ETN over Javonte.
He says it's half point PPR. He followed up with that.
In what the running back question?
Yeah, we're in the Javonte ETN. That doesn't change anything for me, I don't think.
I think it does nick ETN a little bit. I think that Saints offense, even you're not wrong about the Kamara part. It's just that that coaching staff don't owe him anything. I do like everything that Kamara said and the way he's treated. He's like, if I'm not playing for the Saints, I'm not playing. These are my people, blah, blah, blah. I love everything about that situation for Kamara. So you're probably more right about me about how much of a role he could have and should have. But you're right. Javonte got paid, and I think probably the best thing you said was Javonte's got nobody. He's got no competition. Literally no competition for touches. He does have competition in the red zone, as far as those two wide receivers and Ferguson. And I don't feel like the Saints bring that elite red zone package for ETN to be able to get a little bit more work in that area. And you are picking up what I'm putting down in that spot, Chev. Between CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, and Ferguson, does the Saints bring I think the Saints could get to the red zone as often as the Cowboys, or maybe even more with their pace of play.
Obviously wilding right now.
What?
Yeah, you are wilding right now. The Cowboys are a top 5 offense. You're saying the Saints are going to be a top 5 offense this year?
But maybe not in efficiency, but in quantity.
I mean, they can run the same
scored?
amount of plays. The results could be massively different.
I would say points scored are probably going to be quite a bit different. Unless Shuck and Tyson are and they're just humming, like it could be a possibility, but we kind of know where Big D stands. Shout out to Ronalyntics and and missile.
What? What's happening right now?
Well, Ronald, I just said Big D, so I just wanted to give Ronalyntics a shout out. He threw a couple bucks at him.
You're gonna get him worked up.
He had a lot of wiener talk earlier, so well, shout out to Jeremiah again, the $9.99 Fresh Crack Beer Fund. Appreciate you, big dog. We got something for you, Jeremiah. Don't you worry. Shoot us an email, Jeremiah, and we'll take care of you. So ffdynasty@gmail. Shoot it over there. We got something for you, Jeremiah. Appreciate you, bud. Meet Missile Mafia. All right, Chev, give me your answer here on the Javonte and ETN, and then we'll kind of move on here.
Travis Etienne is a better player. Javonte has the better situation. It would not surprise me at all if Javonte was 17 points a game and Travis Etienne kind of regressed a little bit to 11 or 12 points a game. Just because, as long as Alvin Kamara is involved, if we get rid of Alvin Kamara, then this is going to be Travis Etienne by a country mile. To me, I like what I've seen. I'm trying to pull this up on fan. Okay, there they are. So the Saints were basically 20th in target rate last year, and then when Shuck took over, they were 18th. So for some reason, Kellen Moore just wasn't throwing the ball. We know that's in his bag though, because Austin Eckler, we've seen him utilize a running back in that manner before. If Alvin Kamara is there and Mickey Loomis won't let the team cut him or trade him, this is going to be really painful for everyone that has Travis Etienne shares or Achane, excuse me. And we're going to be back here next year saying buy Travis Achane because Alvin Kamara's contract's up after this year. So it could be a painful hurry up and wait, but he'll also be 28 going into next season.
Mm-hmm.
So then we've aged into the money winners value losers, which is where I think he's going to be headed, or we won't even value him that way. It'll just be like bet lottery tickets or something crazy like that because we're going to overreact like people did with Chris Olave.
Yeah, he's already in moneymakers value losers. So Travis Etienne is.
Yeah. So
all right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I love that you were able to pull up something. I got my Chat GPT turned way up on the smart answers, and it takes a lot longer to get anything out of it.
The smart answer.
I got the smart answer. Take longer. Do some more thinking and take longer to get back to me, but make sure it's good. So this whole time I'm like, find me back half of the season, Saints versus Cowboys. But that's still, I don't have time to tell it that Alvin Kamara was nicked up and all that stuff. Like you're not dialing up as many pass, attempts to the running back if Kamara's hurt. And we had Kendre Miller for a game or two. We had Devin Neal try to have a game or two, and this or that.
Both had a game or two now. Don't.
I know, but I'm just saying. But that's
no
not
more than that.
the stats. The stats. aren't really true to what they are working with this year. And it's a second year for Kellen Moore. And it's now we're not on the back. Now we're not on the. We just benched the Rattler for Shuck, and let's see what we got, right? And like it was kind of like the crazy thing of. And this is how the NFL works, and that's why we love it. Like, I'm like, Saints, what are you doing? Why are you winning these games? You're just killing your draft pick. But at the same time, it's like, look, this guy's rolling and our offense is clicking and we're getting some momentum and we're trying to not be the hungover from the Drew Brees. And then we went all in again with Derek Carr Saints, like let's start back over here. And so it's like cool to see them get some momentum and win games. But anyway, so now we come into this year and Kellen Moore's got, not that he didn't have any swagger, but now we got more confidence. The team's got a quarterback. We load it up. We bring in Jordan Tyson. We get ET. We bring in Oscar Delp to sit behind Juwan Johnson. We got weapons. We got some expectations. Some people are going to turn us on Sunday at 1:00, week 1 to check us out. So I just feel like I feel like there's a little bit more meat on the bone for ET than he's getting some credit for right this minute. And that's not to take anything away from Javonte. I think if all things are clicking, Javonte could easily have, more rushing touchdowns but he's good. He's good. I think ETN could be a stud too. And even in half PPR, like back in the day, I used to start Darren Sproles, ET could catch plenty enough balls to make a difference in half PPR. It's not just only PPR.
Yeah, Travis Etienne right now in the PPR crowdsource rankings, and I know it's half point, but just in PPR, we got Travis Etienne at 87, RB21, and we have Javonte Williams at RB16. So a little bit of gap in between those two. And I think it comes down to age and some questions about Kamara right there for the public. I think it's a pretty easy definition, or at least rationale anyway. All right. So let's jump into a couple of questions that are on the website here. Let's jump into nope, wrong button, guys. Sorry. Jason will be manning the ones and twos here rather soon. All right, we got Wuhan Batman. He's asking, traded Rome Odunze plus a 27 third for Rashi and a 27 second. It's 1 QB with no tight end premium. The Bears fan who was hot for him. So this was a question from a minute ago. That feels like a win. I think my team is still in limbo. My starters are strong, but I have no flex in depth. The league is top heavy, so I probably will make the playoffs again. But I don't see championship potential. I have not picked in the first round since 2024. Got a little Rams approach there.
Love it.
So do I not want to trade my 27 first? Is just riding it out this year and finishing with 107, 109 an option? Or is this dynasty purgatory? So let's bring up the squad here. Let's look at the details. What's his team name? Oh yeah, inmate. Once again, he said he wasn't in this one, but he said this is not a political statement. This was just a troll of one of his league mates. He wanted to pass that along the first time he put the team out there. So here he's got Jackson Dart, Trevor Lawrence. It was one QB. Let's see here. It's 1 QB, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, 2 running back, 2 tight end, PPR, no tight end premium. So Dart and Lawrence are his starters, JT and Breece Hall, and then really nothing behind them as far as the running backs go. It's Claiborne, Randall, Keaton Mitchell, Trey Benson, and Jordan James. And he's got Drake London, Rashee Rice, T. Higgins, Horton, Butte, Royals, Malik Washington, and then some other pieces after that. And then we got Laporta, Gadsden, Oscar Delp, and he has his first. He has 3 seconds next year, and looks like he's got 2/3. So he's okay draft capital wise. What do you guys think here? And the value evaluator here likes him as elite value because he does own picks in the next year and he's got a decent team. So let's look at some of the other contenders. But right off the bat, how do we feel about that team in a 10-man, 1 quarterback, no tight end premium?
Okay, so 10-man,
1 quarterback,
no tight end premium.
I gotta readjust my math.
Looking at some other contenders here, Herbert, Gibbs, Genty, James Cook, Jamar Chase, Pickens, Luther Burden, Jamison Williams, Christian Watson, Brock Bowers, and Stowers. This guy doesn't have really any picks. He's got a bunch of seconds actually this year, which is, well played from my Johnson's been raised. That's a very, very good team right there. Solid from top to bottom, good 10-teamer. That team's okay. That team's not as good. That's his team. Caleb Williams, Jeremiah Love. He's got some parts and pieces, but he's missing some stuff. He's got 3 first-round picks though, so he's ready to roll, but he's not a threat right now. This guy's middling. Contender is Jaden Daniels. Nothing behind him. It's one quarterback though. Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Tootin, Krosky Merritt, Ramondre, good depth, fun depth there, good high-end starters. And then the 3 wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Egbuka, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Marvin Harrison. So nice receiver room there. Coker, Jeremy Bernard, and Cyrus Allen. And then Loveland got a good tight end. So the contender teams, a lot of them don't have really any holes. So that's what pretty strong here. And then here's another contender team: Dak, Travion, Price, Javante, CeeDee Lamb, JSN, Waddle, Josh Downs, Wandell. So good 3 wide receivers, and then 2 good tight ends here with Tucker Kraft and George Kittle. Burrow, Hampton, Montgomery, Nico, Brian Thomas, DJ Moore, Warren. A couple of these teams could be okay if some other teams had some injuries. But like probably one really elite team here.
Yeah, Johnson's been raised.
Yeah. So, but some other good teams here. But how far do you think? How far off do you think our man is here, Wuhan? Is he trading his picks, or is he hanging on this year and just kind of hanging, waiting a second?
What was the starting requirements again?
1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a tight end.
Okay, so you do have to do 3 wide receivers. I mean, his starting lineup is studded out, right? I mean, he doesn't on paper. Jackson Dart and Trevor Lawrence don't scare you in a 1 quarterback, but both are really solid and can have spike week. Is going to be pull your hair out about which quarterback is in your starting lineup from week to week. But like your weakest player in your starting lineup is Breece Hall or T. Higgins. You know what I mean?
Your weakest part of your lineup is just the depth. Like if you get banged up, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, but like for sure, like wide receiver wise, you got Drake London, Rashee Rice, T. Higgins. That's really, really solid. There's another team with like 5 or 6 good wide receivers that you showed us. But like, you don't have any startable wide receivers behind that. You really just Brandon Ayuk's on the team. Don't know what you paid for him, and Deebo Samuel fell down there. Deebo could easily pop up and be on a roster this year and be a gap filler for you for a minute, you got Laporta and Gadsden, so you could probably take Gadsden and try to make a receiver out of it, potentially. I mean, you got a handful of 2nd-round picks next year, so you could find a player or 2. You could probably buy some pretty solid players with 2027 2nd-round picks. I would hold on to my 27 first, at least through the first couple games of the season to see what's happening. Unless some great deal finds its way on your doorstep, I'd hold on to that 27 first. And then also just remember, guys, in a 10-man league, those early seconds are, sometimes can be exponentially more valuable than we give them credit for in a normal 12-man league,
I love it.
So those
even in the 12-man league, I love that he's at least got those 2, right? I think that's huge.
He's got, like you said, he's got 3 of them. So, and in a 10-man league, so that gives you 3 guys in the, between 11 and 20 next year. That's huge.
What do you think, Chev?
I like where I'm going to be totally honest with you. I like where he's at. We got to go get another receiver. Like Rashee Rice being your wide receiver 2. up until he's playing football, and they've got him a personal driver, and like it, that terrifies me. Otherwise, this team's good to go. You got a chance. You don't have the ceiling. You don't have the ceiling that Johnson Raised has, but I mean that's a ridiculous ceiling. Like you're not there.
No,
not that guy, pal.
No,
but you could get into championship with him, and anything can happen.
True, very true, very true. I don't. So I think we hold. I think we hold the first round pick. I've been trying to find somebody who could really use a guy like Laporta. Nothing here makes a ton of sense. Like maybe you try 2 2s to get Jalen Waddle, just to add some. This dude's a contender. He's not. Never mind. I'm trying to find. I mean, the math just changes so much because it's one quarterback. So you got to keep Trevor Lawrence because you got Jackson Dart, and I mean, who knows? Like he might.
Right.
He
it's
might
liability.
Concrete.
Right.
So,
yeah. Certainly. To me, this is. I'm chilling. I think this year, I might even try to sell T. Higgins, and then I'm just going to roll into next year with kind of some picks. Or I mean, I'm not going to do anything right away. I'm going to see if my health can hold on and hang out. And then I could use the 2s to maybe buy something in season if I need it. I'm keeping the first, and then I'm going to, if things aren't going my way and it doesn't seem like I'm going to be healthy enough or put up enough points to take down the top 1 or 2 other guys, I'll sell off T. Higgins and ride into next year with, whatever I can get for T, a bunch of 2s at first, and then try to just build out a little bit of depth behind the rest of my roster, because the rest of it's really, fairly young. We just talked about JT. He's an older piece for you. But we kind of just alluded to like, hey, I think we got a good 2 more years of Taylor here. So I'm not necessarily worried about that going away. So I think this one's a little bit in limbo. You got a really good starting lineup. I wouldn't pull any more levers right this minute and just see where it goes and then kind of take it from there mid-season. If you're staying healthy, if Rice is on the field acting like a wide receiver 1, you're probably in good shape. And if you're healthy, you're probably right up near the top. And then maybe you make a move for a little bit of depth a little later to try to compete with, there's a lot of luck that goes into this. He could be dead, knock on wood. We don't want Gibbs, Genty, or Cook to go down, but I mean, that's a nightmare of a 3. And then he's got Jacobs behind them. And then, his starting 3 wide receivers are one of the best one. And then Pickens, which is could be a little bit of a wild card. We think Luther's going to be good, but a wild card. J-Mo's been solid. So, there he does have a little bit of, there's some holes, but I mean, the depth is really good. And then he's got Stafford behind Herbert if something happened to him, and he has Brock Bowers. That would be an Achilles heel if something happened to your tight end position, and you could maybe make up some ground there. But unfortunately, like, he's just got a top killer at every position and then a little bit more depth than you do. Right.
Right. So if this dude, just like you said, if Jonathan Taylor, Drake London, Rashee Rice, and Sam Laporta are balling out, you're going to be right there in the mix. And if you're healthy, and so that's just Jackson Dart could easily be running in touchdowns all over the place. Breece Hall could come out and, break away from the Jets' stronghold of keeping him mid. And then T. Higgins could stay healthy and Joe Burrow could stay healthy. And you could just be, your starting lineup could be nasty. It's just a matter of how healthy can you get. You're going to need a little bit of luck to be a top 2 team, but it's not impossible.
Any final thoughts here, Chev, before we move on to the next one?
I go knocking on the door of Thou Shalt Not Zen and see what's going on over here.
Thou shalt not sin. Okay, and just looking at some receiver depth there.
Yeah, just looking at the receiver depth, trying to figure out what we could do. I mean, AJ Brown's obviously the top target for your build, for what you have going on. But then, Parker Washington is talking to me like the Green Goblin.
To Scary Terry and Aaron Jones at the end of the season, and like an Alvin Kamara just adding a bunch of stuff at the end of the season for a 2 and a 3 or something, get some things going. You know, just some old players off that guy's roster that nobody was giving him anything for, and you know, yeah, AJ Brown would be a good one early on, and maybe helps you out, and maybe you could trade. You know, I don't know exactly what he would take for him, but you know, we're not trying to give away that first, but maybe a pair of twos. I don't know where AJ Brown's value stands in this league. I like it though, Chev. I like where you're going with that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at it and I was like, man, there's some utility here. I mean, he's got 227 first and nothing else going on, so we might be able to help him help you.
That's people helping people.
People helping people.
All right.
Yeah, I'd send 2 2s to AJ Brown and let him say no, and send 2 2s and a 3 for AJ Brown and let him say no, and then maybe send all 3 2s for AJ Brown and try to get maybe, you know,
the running back depth scares me a little.
I'll give you the 3 2s for AJ Brown. I'll give you 3 2s and a third for AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I like trying to get Terry maybe mid-season or something, and then you could grab maybe an Aaron Jones and he's got Claiborne, and then you'd have two of the Vikings running backs kind of right at the end of the season. So something fun there, but I wouldn't go ham of trying to push it all in. So cup the balls,
especially.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not right to do. You
gotta leave some meat. You gotta leave some meat hanging out there.
I don't get analytics fired up again. All right.
Not if you ain't got enough to leave out. Nothing left over.
It's all the way in. I'm all the way. I don't have any more.
Can't pull over any further.
Maxed out. That's what they call that.
Yeah. All right. He says, I've got an interesting scenario. My league has several studs: Ricky Pimpin, C. Davis, Sierra. I'm a contender, but I could set myself apart with a stud QB or a tight end edition. League is full point PPR, no tight end premium. Not sure if the site is up to date, but recently traded my 2026 2-8 and Ricky Pearsall acquired Zay Flowers. So I only have, or so the only pick I don't have is my 22nd second round. So he was saying he wasn't sure.
This is
go ahead.
When a trade pops up and people just say ridiculous stuff about how that's never going to happen and this and this and this. This guy just tells you that he gave Ricky Pearsall and 2-8 for Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I love Ricky Pearsall, and I love the group of players that he jumps up into a stat with when you're looking at yards per catch or and yards per route run and all this stuff, like in efficiency. Ricky Pearsall could be a potential stud in the makings. Zay Flowers is a beast, and Ricky Pearsall hadn't stayed healthy for more than a couple games. Now, when he got healthy last year, I saw the guy land on his knee, and 3 weeks later he came back and I saw the tackle where the guy rolled up on his ankle. Like, I saw him getting hurt more, and I seen it, and it wasn't his fault. But Zay Flowers has
also got shot, also not his fault.
Also, well, he could have just let the guy have his watch instead of being like, you can't have my watch. You have a gun. I'm still not giving you my chain or whatever it was. He didn't have to get shot.
I mean, we don't know. I don't know. I don't like, who knows? Anyway.
No, he said he fought back. So anyway, yeah, he also got shot. But Zay Flowers has been out there crushing every week, and getting better doing it. And, lost Isaiah Likely from the Ravens this year. Mark Andrews losing a step. Maybe there's a little bit more red zone action for Zay Flowers in the future. If we got some red zone action, Zay Flowers, here we go. Right. So that's a magnificent trade for this guy. Ricky Pearsall could be crushing in 2 years, 100 catches a season, and be like, well,
yeah, he's also probably older than Zay Flowers right now.
Right. We could be like, well, wish I still had Ricky Pearsall, but right this minute, that's a fantastic trade.
The age?
It's a fantastic trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't want to get past that and forget about it.
Yeah.
People do say that'll never happen.
Right. Real quick, the starting lineup is 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, 2 running back, a tight end, and a super flex. So PPR, no tight end premium. So his team is Cam Ward and Bryce Young. So he said he needs an elite quarterback, right? He thinks that's kind of like his Achilles heel potentially right now. But he's got Achane and Gibbs, JSN, Puka, Zay Flowers, where he just added. He's got Ladd. That's a great 4. A lot of fun there. And then Likely, and I think he mentioned the tight end too, but it's not premium. So Likely is I'm okay with it for the most part. He still has his first. He's got the 108. So they haven't had their rookie draft yet. And he's got the 308. So at 108, he's going to get a fun player there. What are your thoughts here initially when let's go look at Ricky Pimpin, C. Davis, and Sierra here.
Sorry, what's his dude's team name?
He is the first one, Nakua Matata.
Nakua, okay.
Big Smooth says, shout out to the OG Big Smooth. He said he's coming for you in FFD4, BigCo. So he's got guns a-blazing. He's ready to come after you. Big Smooth is an OG. We appreciate you, big dog. Always the best.
We do. Around the block. I see you grinding, Big Smooth. I see you grinding. Big Smooth just gave up his 2027 first for Breece Hall on a team where he's loaded. He's the second best team in the league behind yours truly.
Big Smooth said, I'm gonna get him out for you. Check these things out.
He's trying to show them off. I see you grinding over there, Big Smooth. I'm projected for 177 points week 1. Big Smooth projected. Big Smooth just made some moves. He's projected for 170. Nobody else is even really close to us. But Big Smooth, I don't know if you noticed yet. I got a secret weapon on my bench. I haven't swapped him out. I've been saving it that for you. I can swap out TJ Hawkinson for Chase Brown right now and go up to 180 and gap you by 10 points, Big Smooth.
BigCo loves keeping his projected somebody off the bench, out of the lineup, and so he's skewing the projection, and then he throws him in there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here I am."
Love that. I got 3 more points on my bench, Big Smooth. You think you're getting close? I'm 5% ahead of you, bro. I got 3 more points on the bench waiting. I'm gonna pop it out. I'm gonna go up to 180 in the next couple days, and you're gonna be like, "What happened?" That's what happened.
This is establishing dominance via projections.
It's nuts.
Is a whole different level of mental warfare.
It's a sociopath.
Day before the game, BigCo pulls everybody.
I got all my bench players on there. So he's just walking around looking like, oh, you got that green bar on sleeper. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got this one.
I love sandbagging the starting lineup before the game starts. I love it. Well, like, oh, he ain't no. Oh shit, what happened? He went up by 40 points. I got 3 more points, Big Smooth.
Oh shit! All right,
hilarious.
So, what are we thinking here? Let's go look at the other teams that are competing. We got Sierra. He says they got Jaden Daniels, Trevor. Then no depth behind that. Javonte and McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Pollard. So older running back room, but solid. Nico, AJ Brown, Jordan Addison, Adonai, kind of a weak room there, but the top 2 are good. Then Loveland, Fannin, and Aronde Gadsden are in the lineup. So they're right there. Ricky Pimpin has got Hurts and Mahomes, McCorkle Jones, Shador, Cook, Etienne, Egbuka, Pickens, Rashee Rice, Brock Bowers. There was one more, right? That he shouted out and said he thought they were one of the best ones. Who was it? C. Davis. Did we talk about that one?
C.
Maybe he changed. I don't see him. Maybe he changed his name or something. So anyway, I don't know, man. I think his roster is right there. I mean, the guy Snave 20 here, he's got Caleb and Dart, and then Goff on the bench. He's got Amarion Hampton and Kenneth Walker. He's got CeeDee Lamb and Tet and DJ Moore, Kincaid and Strange. He got the 103.
Casey, let me ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How do I see the starting lineup requirements on this screen right here? Show it to me. Go
up at that little I button right here.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, keep going.
So, I mean, all
right. That's what. So it is super flex. We have a quarterback problem.
We have a quarterback and maybe a tight end problem, but the other elite contenders right now aren't. I mean, this Sierra's got, he's got Loveland, Fannin, and Gadsden, so he's holding 3, or she. But the rest of the lineup isn't as good as your lineup for the most part, I don't think. I mean, obviously Jaden Daniels and Trevor are very, very good. So generally, boys, what do we got for him here? Because I don't, that's a solid team, but yeah, Cam and Bryce are a bummer there to be like, hey, these are my guys for sure when I'm at this point of a lineup.
All right, so he's still got the 108. The 26 picks are the draft is yet to happen. So he's got the 108 in this year's draft and the 308. Looks like he's got all of his. We need to get it where on the draft picks they're just listed in order instead of by rank. We need them listed in all the 27s show up in a row, 28 show up in a row, 29s, instead of being like 27 first, 28 first, 26.
Yeah, it's just ranking them off the website. Basically.
I know. I'm just saying we could just get them to be like, hey, just give me them in year order so it's easier to not be like, oh, does he have any 27 threes? Can't find them. They're way down. Yeah. Anyway, I'm fine with Likely. I think Likely's going to be. We talked about him last week. I think Likely's going to be just fine, and it's not like you really can't. I know I do put a lot of emphasis on those first 5 or 6 tight ends early and often, but it's not like you can't upgrade as needed other than those first 4 or 5. I mean, you would in a season, don't get kind of caught up in, a 4 or 5 week stretch and overpay for, somebody, but like you could go get a Ferguson or somebody and not have to pay some outrageous price. I feel like you could get, you could get a Juwan Johnson for pretty cheap, no matter, even if he's during the season while he's crushing, you could still pick up a Juwan Johnson. There's a couple of tight ends that could be scoring points and you're still not going to give them their due. You could go get TJ Hawkinson right now for nothing.
All those dudes
you could
on
get
the same team.
Yeah,
right.
That's crazy that you just
Juwan Johnson, TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid with the most ridiculous yards per route.
Here's where
tight ends.
I think you got the problem is like where do you go to get the quarterback and who is it, right? Because you're going through these teams and like any of the decent teams that who's the quarterback that isn't like you're not getting Drake May, right? You're not getting Jay Daniels from this guy. He's competing.
You're not trying to pay up for that.
This guy's good. You're not getting Herbert from him. Jalen Hurts and Mahomes team is he's competing for a championship. Maybe the Josh Allen guy, because his team kind of stinks. That's your best option if you want to go try to attack an elite quarterback right now that I'm seeing. And it just so happens he might be the hardest one to acquire.
Yeah, go take. You don't want to. You would dig such a deep hole trying to get that to Josh Allen. I don't think you give up.
You give up 108. You give up next year's first, and you give up one of your quarterbacks.
Sure, that's not going to get it done. Yeah, I mean, you got to give
27
up
first, the 26 first.
And Cam Ward, you're still not getting Josh Allen for that.
Ward.
You could try it. You're definitely not getting it for Bryce Young. You give Cam Ward, and if you're 108 and your first round pick next year, and try to get Josh Allen, I would do it.
So does Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, and Bryce Young then make you feel good enough? I think so. I think between Daniel Jones and Bryce Young, I'm okay.
For his due, you got Tua. He's going to start.
Is he though?
We don't know.
How long is he going to start?
Hey, just saying.
What do you think, Chev?
The easier thing to do might be to go hit this Washington Commander up and offer the 108 plus something to try to get Brock Purdy.
Where's Brock Purdy?
Washington Commander.
Down here. Okay.
Or Tyler Shuck, but I love where you're going, Chev. Brock Purdy from a rebuilder,
He's got the 102 too. So he's got the 102. So that could be a Mendoza too. That could help ease the blow a little. Add another quarterback.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what's the market rate on Brock Purdy? Because I mean, I'm starting to have some aggressive visions about his touchdown rate again. Like that's just kind of what he does. It's what the Shanahan system lends itself to. And now he's got a 6'5" behemoth on the outside. that he's never really had before.
Mike Evans, for those that don't know.
Yes. Mike Evans, Big Mike, future Hall of Famer. Like, he's with the 49ers now. If the substation doesn't turn his hamstrings into air fryer Swiss cheese, then we might be cooking here. But yeah, so he's probably looking at the wide receiver depth. He's probably taking Fernando Mendoza, especially as a rebuilder to try to solidify. So the grip could have loosened. Do you do 2 firsts for Brock Purdy?
If you're a contender, I could do that easy.
So the 108 and then your 27 one. Do you lead out with the 108, a 27, like a
27-2?
What does it take to go from 108?
Can I give him Bryce Young and the 108 and a 2?
I would.
No.
I'd do that shit.
No? Is that you saying that's too much, BigCo, or he's not gonna take it?
Not enough. Not enough to get Purdy. I would send it.
I'd even get weird. Throw my 3rd in and that 20 and potentially
denied.
Still denied?
Yeah.
Still denied. All right. With Bryce Young, even with Bryce Young?
Denied.
I don't know if it is, man. That's
try it. Send it.
He's a rebuilder potentially. He is not a great team.
What does it take to go from 108 up to 102 and get Mendoza?
Well, is Mendoza good enough to warrant that to be what you want to pay for it? Or I guess is that there are enough options, like you're saying, you get Mendoza on the team, and then you maybe have some more trade options with Mendoza involved in a trade potentially. Because I would love to hang on to Cam Ward and then trade away Bryce Young if I can.
I'm not trading. No, I'm not including Cam Ward in this shit. You created another hole.
I like the 108. I like the 108 and Bryce Young and see what's up
to the 1-2. I'd give 1-8 and Bryce Young for Mendoza easy. And good for the Panthers if I'm wrong on that. And then when you got Mendoza and Cam Ward, if that happens, if you can give Bryce Young and 108 to get the 1-2, now you got Daniel Jones as your 3rd, and maybe he's your starter, and between him and Tua, while Mendoza sits on the bench with Kirk Cousins for a little bit. But then you got Cam Ward and Mendoza, and Daniel Jones might be to carry you for a little bit. Tua might be to carry you for a little bit. That's what I would do. I'd give 108 and Bryce Young and a little bit more if I had to get Mendoza. And then you can work with something. Like you said, Casey, once you got Mendoza and Cam Ward, and you still can figure out how to keep Daniel Jones on the team. I'd give Daniel Jones in the 108 if I had to get the Mendoza.
Would you give Mendoza and a 27 first for Purdy?
Mendoza in a 27 first for Purdy? No.
You're saying that's too much or not enough?
I wouldn't want to give Mendoza and the first for Purdy.
Okay. I'd take that 108 and Bryce Young and send it right over to the Purdy guy and see what he says and see how much more I need to add to try to figure that out. And then say, hey, what if I had Mendoza? And I gave
then say, oh, you're going for Purdy first instead of the 108 to go to get Mendoza.
I would try Purdy. I would try the 108 and Bryce Young and over there and just see what else. See if it's an immediate no, and if he sends something back and what's in that package, right? Is it just an outrageous
for Purdy?
Right.
Okay. Send Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, and the 108 for Purdy.
Oh, I don't want to give away 2 quarterbacks. Now I got no 3rd.
Well, right now you don't have a 2.
Just send. All right. So let's see what the temperature is. Let's see what the temperature is on giving up Bryce Young and Tua plus the 108 plus like the 308, and see if that gets you Brock Purdy.
So Casey's saying go take these picks take this combination and go after Purdy. And I'm saying, sure, go ahead and try that. And then when you get denied, come back with Bryce Young and 108 for Mendoza.
I had the 102, yeah.
And if he says no, then you can go and try to Daniel Jones instead of Bryce Young and just see what they're looking like. Maybe you give Daniel Jones in the 108 for Mendoza. And if he says no, then you figure out which one he likes better, Young or Daniel Jones, and he might say neither. But if he likes one a little bit better than the other, then which one of those quarterbacks plus the 108 plus a 2nd round pick gets you Mendoza? Whatever you got to do to try to. Would Gibbs and Achane and JSN and Puka and Zay Flowers and Lad McConkey and I mean you gotta shore up that QB2 to get some. And if Daniel Jones is out there scoring you 16, 17 points a game, it doesn't matter. You know, that's what I mean. You know.
Yeah. I'm holding Daniel Jones until I can see what.
Yeah.
Until I see what he looks like.
I think if Cam Ward or Bryce and Daniel Jones plays, I think between those two, you're probably okay for the most part going through a lot of these teams. But to get on the upper echelon, like I don't mind. I like that. I like the Purdy angle there. So all right, I think that's good.
Or some of that combination for Tyler Shuck. Go back. You know, we got away from it, but same idea. If Tyler Shuck's cheaper than Purdy, I'd use one of those quarterbacks and try to get to Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, the Josh Allen guy has Shuck and Allen. So, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Allen's just going to be too expensive. You don't have – I mean, you obviously you're starting with Cam Ward, but you can give Cam Ward and Bryce Young and Daniel Jones all together and you ain't getting anywhere close to Allen.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw out the lifeline of 108, a 27 first and one of those quarterbacks that's to Allen and just see what happens. You know,
I mean, all right. Well, then I'd give. The worst he can say is no. So I give you Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, 108 in my first next year for Josh Allen, and then just don't let the door hit you on the way out. But you can offer it.
Yeah. All right. Let's head over to the roster review here, and we'll go ahead. Go ahead. Did you have any? You got more, Chev?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I landed. Like Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, Tyler Shuck. Those are the guys that you need to target so that you have things that matter, things that can score you points, things that won't derail you from trying to win money. I mean, you're in a good spot. You're the 108 already. We just need to solidify. I mean, we just need to solidify the QB room a little bit more. And I'm a Bama Bryce guy.
I don't. Yeah.
But just hearing out loud that he averaged 188 passing yards a game, and that's a career high, makes me want to shit a chicken.
Let's give this guy's props for having the lineup that he has, and you could tell he's not trying at quarterback. My man's got Tua and Anthony Richardson. Depending on what he paid, you know what I mean? If he paid 2 years ago retail price for Anthony Richardson, that hurts. That hurts bad. I got a couple teams where that's just, still got a hole in my knee from shooting myself in the leg on that. Like Tua, if he paid up for Tua 3 years ago, that hurts. Having Daniel Jones and Bryce Young to compete for year two, obviously just got Cam Ward last year, assuming that he, took him in the rookie draft.
Yeah.
Like he's trying, and we can salute the fact that he's trying in a ridiculous running back and wide receiver setup in the middle of it. I think everything we just said plays. I like everything. I like every angle that Chev came up with. And at a minimum, continue to try. Go get cheap Mac Jones right now.
Yeah.
How cheap is Malik Willis? That's an upside swing. How cheap? Go see if the guy that has Malik Willis believes it all.
Right.
If he likes him as much as I do, he's not going to be cheap. But if he, he might let him go for 2 second-round picks. Who knows? You got to go try for Malik Willis and go get cheap Mac Jones, because Mac Jones is going to either A, produce well this year for the Niners if Purdy gets hurt, or B, be a starter next year. The only reason Mac Jones is not a starter right now is because the San Francisco 49ers want to win a Super Bowl, and they're like, hey, we got lucky. We got smart. We had Sam Darnold for cheap. We got Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is on busting with the boys. I saw a couple clips. He said he had to sign that 2-year deal because just in case he didn't get another shot, he didn't want to be out in the league. But he did get a shot because Purdy got hurt, and he showed well. But now he's stuck on the Niners because he signed a 2-year deal, and the Niners don't want to trade him for too cheap. They said it would cost the first because that's their insurance policy to go to the playoffs. If Purdy gets hurt, Mac comes in, 49ers stay on track, they can still go try to be a team in the playoffs and try to win the Super Bowl. So Mac Jones is a starter next year or before if Purdy gets hurt.
Right. All right, moving on. I'm going to do a quick prize picks read. I did want to give a free roster review out to Pro Pofall. He's been in the queue the longest out of anybody. We've never gotten to his question as a free person, and I appreciate everybody who's gone in the free queue. We will certainly answer free questions, but obviously there's only so much time on a show, and we kind of got to take the ones that threw a little cashish in there as the priority. But we got your email and everything, so we'll send you a free little roster review there for your patience and being one of the early adopters of throwing the questions in there. So shout out to him for that, and we'll send something your way. But let's take a quick break to the read here. Let's go over to our prize picks. Bring them up on the screen here. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports or pick app. The app is really easy to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Prize Picks is available, but not limited to, in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Download the app now. Enter promo code HMA. New users get $50 in new lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That simple, guys. But when we're back to the baseball diamond tonight, because soccer has cooled off a little bit here, and quite frankly, we weren't cashing on that. Let's go back to the diamond here. We got Josh Bell versus the Twins. We went more than 0.5 hits there. Then we went over to Beantown. We went more than 0.5 on the bat of Wilson Contreras. And then to round out, we went to Michael Trout of the Angels of Anaheim for more than 0.5 hits from him as well tonight. And they're facing off against the Rangers. So, guys, it's that easy. You go to submit a lineup. Again, download the app, use promo code HMA. New users get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out Prize Picks. That simple. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's get back to it here. Again, we've rolled out the roster reviews today for the first time. You can go over to the website. Let me find it here. Doing a lot of things. But we'll bring this screen up here for your pleasure. You can come over to the website, look at the memberships here. You can see what you get in the $15 Pleasure Plus here. It's got the one roster review included in there. And then the Pleasure Chest, the $7 holler, is now where all of the Patreon stuff is. And you can see you get the expert rankings in that. You get the ADP, you get the trade calculator, you get an ad-free podcast, you get a bonus podcast most every week, and early access features to everything. And then on up in each tier, as well as the Discord access. And then there's solo roster reviews that you can get over here as a la carte as well, and add on more roster review packs to your automated ones. And then you can get a review right here live on air when we're on the lives, or you can get a premium one where for $60 as an early adopter, you can get a 30-minute breakdown of your roster like we did all last year, except we've got a lot more cool tools for your pleasure here. So for the $60 fee, we can spend 30 minutes until you break down the entire roster, go over the automated sheet that you get that as well. So lots of good stuff going on over at the website. Obviously, this is a new thing. The website's new. This is a small operation. This isn't Underdog. This isn't, almost any, like we're small. We all have jobs. Like this is not something like a big corporation made, or we're not, obviously this is not our full-time jobs. So there may be issues. Hit us up. Let us know. We need to know about them. We've tried to vet as much as we can, but there's one or two guys on the back end running the website. There's one guy editing. There's us on the mics, and this is pretty much where we're at. So appreciate all your patience. But what we built, I think we're really proud of. It's really cool. It uses the buckets that we've been going over and all of our crowdsource and expert rankings to kind of give you a breakdown of where you're at here. So without further ado, let's jump into a roster review here, and we have one ready to go for your pleasure here. So this is the roster review. I'll read his question in a second. It populates, kind of tells you where you're at. This is kind of your landing page. And then you can see you work from left to right, and it gets more granular. This kind of gives you an overview of kind of where everything is at. This is your player tiers and all that good stuff. Your roster window, kind of where these guys are on your team, and then each page has a little diagnosis rather. And then you come over here, and this is kind of a whole bunch of different tools here of like comparing rosters. You can pick anybody in the league, and you can pick kind of compare where you're at versus them, and you could be all starters, bench, picks, whatever you want to do. This is your roster. This gives you your player value tiers and a little scatter chart, different way to look at it here. And then let's scroll down. This is kind of giving you kind of your risers and fallers. your peak positional curves, all that good stuff. Then you have your distribution. This is just the players that you have and where they rank. This is where you can come in and you can pick kind of what kind of build you have, what kind of tier you want to be if you're trading for starters or bench. This particular player is a contender. And then this will give you some trade targets kind of built right in here with kind of telling you who to go attack because you're weak here and that person has that over there. And you can kind of change what your build is kind of skewed towards or how you want to start building. And it'll give you some different options as you scroll through here. So lots of cool stuff. And then this is your tradability. This is kind of telling you, again, who you're best matched up with the partners. Then you can open this right up into, this is your personal trade calculator built essentially around this league, right? So this is a really cool feature. It's just like an upgraded personal trade calculator from a calculator from the website. And then on top of this, this kind of gives you your trajectory over time and where you're at, your buy windows, your sell windows, who's fallen off. And this is, this guy's looking like a contender sort of all the way through. And if you, switch to some other things, you can kind of see where everybody else in the league kind of is. This guy's not in great shape right now. And then the last page is a full-on breakdown of kind of telling you everything that you have going on. So let's jump into it here, guys. The question is, he's very happy with his team, but a couple of airball draft picks has led to feeling uneasy about my chances as a contender, especially with the top teams in my league. Starting lineup is good, and a spot is in a good spot, but I don't feel like I have the necessary depth with only starting 2 QBs and a top-heavy running back and wide receiver room. How should I go about acquiring depth from the running back, or how should I go about acquiring depth, RB and or wide receiver pieces? Should I tear down from one of my elite players or throw the rest of my picks and fully embrace a championship run? A couple of the targets a couple of targets I've looked at are Josh Downs, Christian Watson, QJ, Ricky, Jalen McMillan. What kind of package should I throw together for any of those guys or any other players? I hate the idea of trading for an old guy with how young my team is right now. Is that a bad process? So
6-point pass TD and tight end premium. After all that, just come bring that back around.
Yeah.
6-point pass TD and tight end premium.
Right. So what are we thinking after we read all that there?
So, Chev, if you're ready, I'll get out the way. If you need a second, I got good news and bad news.
Go for it. You can go first.
He did mention he mentioned his own good news and bad news. Good news is he loves his team. Why wouldn't you? Good news is you got monster studs. Okay.
Yeah. Let me read the team real quick just to interrupt you for everybody listening.
Yeah. Read the starters first so it doesn't get all bogged down with the depth.
Yeah.
Just read the starters for a second.
We got Drake May and Jaden Daniels. It's Genty, Omarion Hampton, and Travion. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tedero McMillan, and Roma Dunze, and then Brock Bowers and Colson Loveland. And it does not appear as though he has his 27 first. So he's definitely traded away some picks here. As far as, down through the lineup, they haven't had the 26th draft yet. It doesn't appear.
Yeah, he's got 3-7 and 4-7 this year. So he's traded his first this year already and his second and his 27 first. I feel you. I did the same in a bunch of leagues. So he's got 3-7, 4-7 coming up. He's got a second rounder in 2027 and a fourth rounder in 2027. So he's got, look like all of it's 28s. So he went and hit that draft pick asset class hard, but it turned into a ridiculous team. The bad news, like he said, so it is funny, he says he's missed on some draft picks. When you have a starting lineup this good, the draft picks that he's missed on look like they were mostly second rounders, but one of them is Travis Hunter. So that didn't feel good. So that, I like the Dylan Sampson. I'm sure you didn't get him early enough to. Okay. So JJ McCarthy doesn't feel good. Kendra Miller probably doesn't feel good based on what you might have paid for him in the rookie draft, mid early second round pick a couple years ago. Caleb Johnson. So Savion Williams, maybe not a big deal. Jalen Polk could have been a middle second rounder, might have been a third rounder. I don't know what you paid for him. I see Jalen Royals doesn't feel good right this minute, but definitely got some upside with a shaky wide receiver room over there in the Chiefs. But the upside is everything that Casey just said, the ridiculous starting lineup, and you got Jaden Higgins. Travis Hunter's not dead, but for all intents and purposes right now, we're just not even going to consider him much. If I'm you, first thing I'd do is see what I can get for Travis Hunter and just go ahead. But just in case he's not part of the offensive equation this year, he's going to be, and he's like a lockdown defensive back like we think he is. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know why we were trying to do that. Look at this man. He's the best top 3 defensive back in the league, and we don't have any reasons to be playing him on offense. That was stupid. Like, I would try to get something. If it goes the other way and he's really good on offense, he'd still, because he's playing defense at an elite level, he doesn't have the ceiling. He'll never have the offensive ceiling because he's in the NFL. It's way more important to have a lockdown cornerback for most teams than it is to have, and they got wide receivers anyway. Just say it like Jaden Higgins is a potential. Jaden Higgins is a beast. I don't know if he's a stud yet, but I like Jaden Higgins a lot. RJ Harvey didn't even make the starters list, and I like where Dylan Sampson is headed. You know, obviously he's trapped behind Quinshawn. And you got Mac Jones, and for whatever JJ McCarthy may be worth, I put him in the same trade with Travis Hunter. TJ Hawkinson, down here, beaten, forgotten, bloody. Nobody likes him. This man, he tore his knee 2 years ago. Okay, 2 years ago he was 3 and 4 years ago. He's a top 5 tight end. Okay, I don't know. Kirk Cousins was there, and he ain't coming back. I get it. They got quarterback problems. 2 years ago, he tore his knee halfway through the season. And last year, he comes back, and the entire offense explodes in a bad way. Implodes, right? So the quarterback went away for TJ Hawkinson. And then A.J. Barner, had a good season. I didn't realize until recently that A.J. Barner was getting handoffs at the goal line, was getting tush pushes. So stock up A.J. Barner on the tush push potential. I get it, not wanting to do that with Sam Darnold. Anyway, you got an absolutely studded out starting lineup. And Jaden Higgins on the bench, RJ Harvey on the bench, Mac Jones on the bench, AJ Barner and TJ Hawkinson on the bench. I think you're in ridiculously good shape. Ridiculously good shape.
Yeah.
And trade Travis Hunter.
Yeah, trade Travis Hunter as soon for whatever you can get. Like I'm being dead serious.
Me too, Chev.
We've led the case. We've led the charge on this, going back to one of the very first appearances that I had on the show, where we talked about him playing receiver, and then all the fuddy-duddies in the comments were like, "Well, no, he's not going to play receiver." Well, he's Justin Jefferson, and so now we've gotten all the worst signals for Travis Hunter. So you got to get out of this business. You have to get out of this business.
Agreed.
You have to. Like, that's the most imperative thing you could do right now to me today is get out of that business. And, everything else, you got Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's a lot of people's wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. Tedero McMillan, we did the back and forth. We did the dash and tried to figure out if he was a cornerstone. Everything here is roses. In terms of your bench depth, you still got RJ Harvey. Everybody hates RJ Harvey right now. Like, brother, there's not a ton. You could say you whiffed on Caleb Johnson. That still has a lot of time to turn around. Like, you could say, I know. But you could say whatever. That still has a lot of time to turn around.
So he's worried about the depth of quarterback, which Mac Jones is your depth right now, and JJ certainly could be, and then he's worried about being top heavy at the receiver and running back position. So like you have a little bit of pliability with Spears and Harvey, maybe Sampson if hopefully you don't have him, and then maybe we see something from Caleb that makes it just stick a hand out of a dirt. That'd be cool. Malik Washington gives you, I think, a potential depth piece. It might be nothing, but it could be a boat, or at least a Boston, like a dinghy.
From who?
From Malik Washington, like as far as depth as the receiver position. We don't know what we're going to get from Royals. Jaden Higgins is kind of, and you're good in the tight end area, right?
It might
And
not have a motor on it. It might have a paddle.
right,
But
right.
if
And
it floats,
was this premium or non-premium?
it's premium.
It's premium. Okay, so he's got Bowers and Loveland, so he's playing both of those guys
Every week.
Every week. So generally, from that standpoint, what do you think your biggest concern of this team was? If this was your team, like where are we going? And he mentioned like just, hey, do I just go all in with the rest of the picks that I have in 26 and maybe even 27, and I'm sitting out for 2 years essentially, which at this point I'm more than fine with. Like, you're not going to be doing anything with a lot of the things that you have, so just try to package them up and just put more stuff on this team and just hang out for a bit, right? But what are we trying? What would be because you can't attack everything, right? You're just not going to be able to. And I don't think I want to tear down from anything really. Like, maybe Travion Henderson would be somewhere that you could poke around and see if you can get really good value for something that's a little bit more surefire, that's around the same age-ish, but doesn't, or maybe a little older. Maybe you tear down, you get a little something extra on top. To get, and I don't even really want to get out of the Travion Henderson business. I'm just saying, like, to get yourself maybe a little safer in that spot, because I think your other two are rock solid. And then, Rome and Tet aren't necessarily the safest, highest end potential assets there. I have got a lot of faith in both, especially Rome and Dunze. But what would be the mode of attack here where you try to go? Because Henderson's the first thing that sticks out to me. Like, that's an avenue that you could maybe get something on top and get something a little more sure, and or a tear down from Tet McMillan. Like, those are the two that jump out from me where, hey, I like both of these players, but maybe I could go down and maybe I can add some picks and I don't mind buying older play. He said maybe doesn't want to buy older players because his team's pretty young. I have no problem buying older players as depth right now,
especially on this team.
Right. This is when I want to buy older players. Like,
of course,
they're going to give me my depth. I can play them, and then they're going to age out, and I'm still going to have players that I really, really like. So, that may be who's got the older players, who wants to trade them, right? And which would those guys be? So
I'm looking at, let's see, what's the deal with? We need to go knock on the door and see what the deal is with Rattler Mania here. I clicked the RB anchor. Just on the, on the strength of what you were saying in terms of, just having a more secure asset than Travion. Brees kind of fits that mold for me. I know he was only 13 points a game, and that's basically a career low. Whatever. I don't care. He's going to be good this year. He's going to catch 60 passes. We can bank on that. I don't want to get rid of Travion though.
I don't. I'm not trading Travion
because after this year,
stern from everybody. No way. I like it.
I'm not trading Travion.
It's just here's the thing. We got 1/3 of the explosion, the Jahmyr Gibbs explosion in the fantasy playoffs. We got 1/3. We got it in week 15, and then it was quiet the rest of the time. But week 15, I mean, he absolutely blew the doors off of the thing, right? Whenever that was, they played either the Bills or the Bucks, or whenever he scored those long-ass touchdowns, he scored 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens to Ramondre, or Ramondre goes back to his normal ways and starts, fumbleia again, then, I mean, what are we doing? I'm struggling right now to get to where everybody else is kind of in the league, because I want to get there so I can look at which one of these teams that
it doesn't seem like a ton of players have.
Well, clearly you got the best starters. You got the best starters out of everybody.
Gray White Sharks has got a solid squad here, and he's got Trey McBride, so he can hang with you there.
Yeah, Rattler Mania is kind of mid. I don't know what direction he's going to try to take this. I think coming out of the gate, I feel like he's going to try to, he's going to let the football tell him where to go. But I mean, this is a solid team. I was going to say try to get one of those running backs. Try to get one of those running backs off of him. I mean, everybody hates Chase Brown until it's time to try to trade for him, until it's trying to trade him. Then all of a sudden he's the second coming of Rudy Johnson, or Billy White Shoes Johnson. This dude's got bucket.
Yeah, I mean it really just comes down to who kind of wants to trade. I don't know if that, like you said, which way does he want to go? He's got a decent team and the Rattler Mania guy, and could be, he's not old anywhere. He doesn't have any picks either. So he's kind of stuck in limbo potentially where he's at right now. Rattler Mania is.
So my thoughts for the trades, like you said, Casey, with the draft picks, you got 3-7, 4-7. So I'm trying to add the 4-7 to 3-7 and go up as far as I can get. If that only gets me to 3-2, that gets me to 3-2. If that gets me to 3-3 or 3-1, I'm giving the 4-7 away and going up to 3 and trying to go up in the early 3s and, try to get like a Mike Washington, one of those running backs in tight end premium. You could be looking in Oscar Delp, Mike Washington as a guy that, I don't think Emmett Johnson's not going to fall that far, but I'll be looking for one of those running backs. The Claiborne on the Vikings going to have a decent shot, to show something maybe at the end of the season if things don't work out, if Aaron Jones gets hurt, et cetera, et cetera. I'd be looking to try to just get up spend that 4-7 to make 3-7 turn into 3-2 or 3-1 or 3-3 if it needs to be. If you get down at 3-3s, if the other running backs are gone and Mike Washington's sitting there staring you in the face, if I need to move up 2 picks and I use that 4-7, I'll do it.
Okay, so you're just gonna try to just take some picks that you have, move up as far as you can in the draft, and then go from there with that
for this year. You could also do that, or you could be on the board at 3-7 and see the best old guy you can get for 3-7. But I would rather. I mean, you could do that, but at that point you've sat there at 3-7 and missed a chance at Mike Washington or somebody like that. Most likely in all the rookie drafts I've already had. I think you and I were on the draft I think you and I might have had like 3-5 or 3-7 or something, and we got Mike Washington all the way that far. But most of the time, it's 3-2, 3-3 is where you need to be to get one of those running backs. And Kalen Black could fall. I do have the tiebreaker to go to Mike Washington over Kalen Black because Jordan James is not a 0, and for the San Fran backfield behind Christian McCaffrey. As far as that, the bigger trades go, I like somebody in your league could potentially see Rome Odunze through Casey Myers' eyes. That's where I'd be looking. There could be somebody in your league that has Tet McMillan on, a pedestal already, but I probably myself don't feel like trading him is a good idea. It just seems so safe. And Rome on the Bears, trading him doesn't feel good either because I feel like I've beat that, to death about how much I see the stock rising for the entire offense. But like you said, Rome's not the same. If something were to go wrong, people can't wait to call it a falling knife, so that something could happen to Tet and his floor is so much higher than Rome just on perception. And,
yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Am I speaking the truth there, Chev?
Absolutely. Well, you got a locked in target share for Tet. I mean, we're talking, 24, 25% as a rookie, over 1,000 yards. It's not sexy, but I mean, if he's tied to, for instance, like I know I brought it up on a different show. I can't remember what we were talking about, but the Rams made an aggressive play to try to trade up to get Tedero and McMillan. And is he a cornerstone next to Puka Nacua? You just have 2 cornerstone wide receivers if they trade up to,
right.
to the 8th pick to get Tedero McMillan. Like that's what he is. And we've all had some very aggressive things to say about him. And it's because he's really good. He's much safer than Rome Odunze. Rome probably has a similar talent ceiling, but he's
Maybe
also got
more upside.
he's also got a super stud tight end and a guy that creates yak after the catch that you're gonna have the easy button manufactured targets to, playing in the slot. So Rome's a bit more risky, but you could look up 2 years from now, and those guys are both top 10 dynasty wide receivers, or top 5 for Ted and top 10 for Rome Odunze. So I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell any of those 2025 guys right now, unless I'm getting something. Unless I'm getting an older guy that I can bank on for at least 2 years and a really strong series of picks coming back with him.
You're right. Like if Tet was on the Bears, we'd be losing our mind right now, Chev.
Yeah. If he was
like you mentioned the Rams, but if Tet was on the Bears or one of those top 5 offenses Cowboys. And not, yeah.
Like if it's Tetairoa McMillan instead of George Pickens.
That's right.
How aggressive are we? We'd probably be arguing, oh well, hey man, you got to put Tetairoa McMillan ahead of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's 27 years old. Tetairoa McMillan just went over 1,000 yards as a rookie. All that stuff.
Yep.
What do you think, Casey?
It's to me, he's kind of asking like which position to address and how do you go about doing it. And I feel like some of your only options are taking the 27 second that you have and pairing it up with other picks and seeing what the best player that you can get at whatever position that is, or tearing down from the kind of guys that I mentioned there, even though I don't really want to, but I feel like that's kind of like your, the way to go about it. And it's just like, where can you find a trade partner? And you go look around and the bad teams are really, really bad. And they got nothing like, this guy's team is Jummings here. He's got Shuck and Bryce Young, you need a third. I don't necessarily know what you would give up to be getting those guys, but there's nothing else on this team that you would really want. Christian Watson would be an interesting depth piece that you could buy from this guy, right? And maybe a 27 second and some of those picks that you have thrown in there could get you a Christian Watson, right? Because this guy's thirsty, right? He wants anything he could get pick wise he needs, and Christian Watson is doing nothing for him, absolutely nothing.
And that's a good conversation to have with that guy in the text message, and just be like, hey, you need some picks, and Christian Watson isn't going to do much for you. Maybe you give JJ McCarthy and your 2 and your 3, 2 next year and your 3 this year, and try to get Tyler Shuck. They might laugh you out of the room, but like I'm in on trying to buy Tyler Shuck for this guy's third.
I just don't know how you do it with what he has to offer. The other tier down, I know you're not going to like it, but I mean Colston Loveland tier down to, find the guy who's got, here's Warren and Fanning on the same team, also a contender. So he probably doesn't want to do that, unfortunately, right?
He may.
He may be interested in giving you, something to go. He's not super deep in the running back business, but he's got some receivers that are, kind of interesting with Marv and Parker Washington there.
But our guy here is super deep in the running back business. He's pretty deep everywhere, like except he doesn't have like that ridiculous wide receiver depth that like 4 and 5 sometimes we see,
right?
Sometimes Rome is the 4th or the 5th on some people's team, but they don't have 3 running backs and a Harvey, or they definitely don't when that happens, unless it's, they just have that ridiculous all-star team. But like to have Brock Bowers and Colston Loveland, and have JSN and Genty and Drake May. I mean, you have, when you, at the very beginning of this on your screen, you showed us the first page of the roster review, and you got like 5, stud. You got 5 anchors or whatever, and then you got like 5 rising stars. Like you can't really ask for more than this. All that being said, just like you're studded out. Even that little graph right there with your players, they're all up and to the left, right? Look at those studs right there. You got cornerstones and ascending stars all over the place, and your two prove it players are,
2 really fun. I mean, obviously people hate RJ Harvey, but
I love them. So, and you could easily have a starter between AJ Barner and TJ Hawkinson. That could be one more flex starter, easy and tight end premium.
And if you
RJ Harvey can start for you.
If you can get through this season, Mac Jones is a great asset for you, right? I mean, you just have to hope that you don't need somebody. So there was one other Sorry to cut you off, BigCo.
I could trade down from Jaden Daniels if I had to. If you're dying to make a move, I could tear down from Jaden Daniels and make some money. But like,
yeah,
sometimes
you got to
the
shop
answer is
what the biggest tear down return is and who you're the most comfortable with out of like a Jaden Daniels, a Colson Loveland, a
Roma Dunze, right?
Romer or a Tet.
It might not be the person you want to trade, but it might
Right.
be the person in your league that wants to pay the most, and you're like, well, I don't really want to trade him, but this is a really good deal, So like you might not have to do anything right this second, but just sit here and go to week 1 and dominate, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that? And if you want to make a move, there's moves to make, but it's league dependent on if you're going to get the most real like net value that you're going to see to make your team better. You don't want to trade down from a stud just for fun, but like if you go down from Loveland, better make it worthwhile. If you go down from Jaden Daniels, I think you can still get some pretty good money before, just in case it ain't what we remember,
Yeah. I mean, you got the Grant.
And if Casey's in your league, he's going to pay up for Rome.
You got the Grant Slam here. He's got older Terry McLaurin. I don't know what he'd want for him. He's got Romeo Dobbs, who could be fun and fun, cheap. He's got Matthew Golden here. He's got some interesting, cheaper running backs here, and a team that's just kind of built for, we need to be moving forward to try to get some picks and maybe some sort of youth piece somewhere that he likes better than one of the guys that he has, right? He's got a bunch of just Jordan Masons, J.K. Dobbins, Chris Rodriguez, Krosky Merritt, Rashad White, Jalen Warren. Like, he's somebody who you could go shopping with for running back depth there, or quarterback with, just piling up some of those picks that you have and giving them away. And then this guy down here, Sir Longpeen. Name. Geno Smith is just sitting here on the end of this guy's bench. He ain't doing nothing. For some of those cheap picks, if you wanted to get a third quarterback with just some startability, if you had a problem, Geno's going to be super cheap to go get right now, and you could probably use some of those picks. Is it the best usage of the picks? I don't know, but fucks, if your bye week comes around and you need a starter and that's a hole, or somebody goes down for a week or two and you need to, if one of your two starters goes down for the whole season, Geno's probably not what you want, but like, you don't have a lot of options from a quarterback perspective of gaining any more depth. After a year, you'll have Mac, right? That'll get you some depth where you can either trade or do some stuff, but which I love having Mac Jones, and hopefully you don't need to use Mac Jones for the Purdy owner and my Niners. But Geno's down here for pretty cheap, and this guy's got an interesting bunch of jamokes on his team, with DK and Xavier Worthy, and Ladd's probably too expensive for what you have, but like, and there's not, to me, there's not enough on this team to tear down with one of the players you have to try to get. Like, Ladd would be a good target because this guy's team kind of stinks, but I don't think there's not enough firepower to tear down and get Ladd and enough stuff unless he wanted to give you some picks, which I doubt he does. So that's kind of some options for me. One of the things that he pointed out was that he was going after this guy's team, Jerry's World, with Ricky Pearsall and Jalen McMillan for some trades. I don't mind getting Pearsall, right? If you could figure out how to trade a bunch of your stuff, a bunch of your picks for Pearsall, I don't hate that. How much does Jalen McMillan cost? He's pretty cheap right now, but he might not give you a ton of depth that you want right this second, but I think he's a good player to have on your team for kind of, 3-7-4-7. Maybe that gets a Jalen McMillan done. I mean, at the moment, I don't know. But I'm using the 27-2 and my 26 picks to try to go find something, and then, trying to work the phones on a tear down. If I want to do anything, you don't necessarily need to do anything.
I would definitely give 3-7-4-7 from McMillan. I'd give 3-7-4-7 for McMillan in a heartbeat.
Would you give the 27-2 for Pearsall, or the 27-2 and the 3-7 for Pearsall?
Yes.
He said he's been rejected with trying to get Ricky. So any other thoughts, conversations? This is the roster review. This is, kind of what we would do in a full-on breakdown. You can get these on the live show. They're going to be 5 quick 10-minute run past. You ask a question, we pull all this information up and kind of give you. But this is what you're going to get with the automated roster review, this sheet to kind of tell you where you're at, and then you'll be in the Discord. You can ask us questions about it. But like you said, there's lots of good stuff on here to kind of tell you where you're at, what to do. I know, Chev, you've used it for a bunch of teams in the background. You've really liked kind of what it can do for you here. But it can give you targets, tell you where you're at, tell you who to trade with. Well, the personal trade calculator, I think, is really, really sweet. So lots of good stuff. You probably missed the pricing. We did it in the beginning. You can get a la carte ones, or you can get $15 a month. We'll get you one roster review included in that tier. If you want a full-on breakdown, it's $60 to have us spend 30 minutes breaking your team down. Or we will be offering some when we're live on air for, $20 to get you a little 5-10. Hey, got a question, not a full breakdown, but kind of like a halfie, right? Glory hole it a little. Any other thoughts on Njigba's in Paris? I tried to hold on as long as I could, not saying the name, because I really didn't want to slip that up.
Boy. I was like, hey, look, guys. Maybe this is a name that only I say.
Yeah.
Chev, take it away, bro.
Yeah, you can't pull it.
Too dangerous
On the live stream.
Too dangerous.
But in that $15 a month tier, though, you do get all sorts of other things, right? You get a roster review in there. Let's get back to the site here. We go to this thing, and like I said, these are the pricings here. You in that $15 a month tier, you get the extra episode, you get ad-free episodes, you get the offer finder, the trade builder, the FF dashboard, everything that's in the pleasure chest, priority support, and then you also get the one free roster review. After 3 months, if you keep it, you can switch it to another one, or you can buy a pack of more below it. And here is the on air or the premium. It is $60 right now, not 80, as we're rolling it out. And you also get the value tier in the $15 a month thing that kind of gives you the buckets of this is kind of sort of the engine that helps run the roster reviews. So you can kind of use that as in coordination with what the roster review is telling you, what we're telling you, grabbing guys from different buckets for different things. So anything else on this particular roster review here, boys?
No, good stuff putting this together, bro. See, when you build a roster that's this strong, it's really difficult. It's a lot less difficult. Let me express this as clearly as possible. It's a lot easier to live with delayed, not denied on some picks. And then look, you could look up a year from now and that bench is looking crazy. Like, just between RJ Harvey, which you've already kind of seen, what it looks like with RJ Harvey, and people are assuming that he can't get better as a runner, which I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Caleb Johnson, Dylan Sampson. If something happens to Quinshon Judkins, I have full faith and confidence that Dylan Sampson can be 12, maybe 13 points a game in his absence, and with spike week potential, because he's a fast guy. So this is really good. The only thing that you need to do, for sure, is get Travis Hunter off the team.
Unfortunately, he's going to be a tough trade right now. So Travis Hunter could be thrown in every deal that you're throwing out there for Ricky or whomever you're trying to get there. But so hit us up in the Discord. I know you're a big fan, so appreciate you.
Send Travis Hunter for Christian Watson.
And sprinkle some more on it.
And the 3 and the 4, give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right.
At the end of the thing here, you get the whole diagnostic of everything. And again, you get the access to the $15 a month Discord channel. So like you can take the automated one. We're keeping it as cheap as possible. We're going to be continuously updating, adding new things, changing things as they come along. But we thought this was a really fun tool for everybody to use and tried to keep it as cheap as possible. And then if you want us to take the time to break it down, it's a little more expensive, but we had a lot of success with it last year. Had a lot of people who came through and wanted it before we had all the cool tools at our disposal. So we appreciate everybody who has been a part of the FF Dynasty. We see these swipes going up. We're super proud of this crowdsourcing thing. that we've built here. It continues to get better and better and better. Hopefully one day you won't see as much keep trade cut values everywhere. You'll start to see more FFD crowdsource values sort of everywhere. Like I said, we've got the Patreon. If you're a Patreon member and haven't moved over to the site yet, it's all over here now. The $7 holler gets you the free episode, ad-free podcast, FFD ADP, premium trade calculator, the rankings, early access to new stuff, a bunch of good stuff over there. So check that out, and the Discord, obviously.
Ad-free podcasts.
Ad-free
Solid.
podcast, baby.
Solid.
And you get that on every tier. So again, just trying to keep this as affordable as possible. And then on the Pleasure Plus, that's where you get the roster review and a bunch of other tools. You get the dashboard, which is this, which kind of just puts a bunch of stuff all in one kind of spot, easily digestible. You can sort ADP, crowdsource. You can sort by experts. You got the rookies, kind of everything easily digestible. You get the value tiers, and then you get the offer builder and the trade finder, which we are currently sort of rebuilding after version 1, which the trade finder is like, hey, you could say, I want to tier up or tier down from Genty, and, basically, go find a trade and give you some ideas of what to do there in your specific leagues. Right. So, but that's getting an upgrade right now as we speak. So lots of cool things over here. Go check it out. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate everybody who's using the crowdsource stuff. If you're listening on the podcast, we're doing a 5-star giveaway. So in the link, click it, takes you over to the website. You can give us 5 stars, enter to win. Your name will stay in. We're going to give monthly subscriptions away. We're going to give roster reviews away to everybody, and just trying to get some 5 stars up, because that helps the podcast tremendously. And we hit a little bit of lull. We got a lot, and we appreciate you. We got a great rating for as many as we have and as long as we've been out. Shout out to T-Dog. Did get a 1-star review from T-Dog, but hey, he might be going through something. We love you, T-Dog. If you're listening, I'm sure you're not, but haven't seen a 1-star review in a minute, but didn't like what we were putting out. But T-Dog's feelings just generally might be hurt, or he's going through something. So shout out to T-Dog.
Shout out T-Dog.
Whatever it is.
In your 5-star review, if you wanted to put hashtag we love T-Dog, that'd be cool. I mean, just
that would be cool. Let's
you
pump
never
up
know.
T-Dog. He had a bad day.
Yeah.
We ain't doing nothing but trying to teach you how to win championships over here. So
Right.
1-star review is just
And listen, I don't
just
really
going through
care
it.
about the
Yeah.
reviews or what. It is what it is. You're free to do whatever you want to do. But like, the thing is like, we're a really small operation trying to do something. So like, that can hurt overall in what we're trying to do. Like a 1-star review, and all you had to do was you could have just went on to something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to give Underdog a 1-star review because they're a giant corporation and you don't like what they're doing and they've effed you a few times, understandable. But like, and I'm not just talking about us, like any little guy that's out there that's trying to make it, that isn't a bamboozling, and they're genuinely trying to do something, like doing stuff like that can be detrimental to success. And you're not helping anybody to steer away from the podcast by giving us a 1-star review. You know what I mean? You're just
Right.
If we didn't have 500 reviews, it wouldn't matter. But like if we were trying to start our first 15 reviews and you stumbled upon it and you were just being an asshole because you didn't like something that we said, you're having a bad day, or we're not your flavor. That's fine. You don't have to, and it's not, I'm not even saying about us. I'm just saying generally out there in the world. Like when people are trying to do shit.
Well said.
Go
to the kennel and adopt a puppy, bro. If it's a bad day,
Yeah.
like there's a puppy out there that would just love to have you, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, and if nothing else, I'll make a barter with Ranalytics to just hype up your dong whenever you're having a bad day. Hey, nothing will get a man feeling good about himself, feeling good about your meat. All right. You're having a low meat energy day, we can fix that. We got Ranalytics in the chat. We just have them text you, bro, the bulge is looking huge today.
All
right, T-Dog.
Shit, let's not pretend like you know what. Let's not pretend like you know what a low meat energy day feels like, bro. Let's not pretend. I know you're trying to help, but right now you're reaching, dog. You're reaching.
I'm just saying, man. Like I want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Yeah,
maybe that was
read-
Chev in
read
the
in the
league.
comments.
Maybe he was. Maybe Chev
Sir Longpeen. Sir Longpeen.
He's just hiding. So anyway, we'll be live again next Wednesday. And we appreciate you guys. We are going to do some of these live on air. If you want the $60 full on 30-minute breakdown of the sheet plus what we have to say about it, you can have it public or private, right? We don't have to, we can send you the link to the YouTube and nobody else has to see it, right? If you're trying to, or if you want it public, we might make a show out of it. And then we'll have some, like I said, there is an on-air option here. If you go into roster reviews here, sorry. Let's go back to the site here. You go into roster reviews, live reviews, it's right there. So there you go. That's where it is. And then the $60 premium over there. So here's all the pricing. Once again, go check it out. Everything you need's over here. We very much appreciate all you guys. I hate trying to sell stuff to people. It's like my least favorite thing. But it's kind of part of what we got going on here. And again, just trying to keep it affordable for you guys. And so it's not some crazy thing. I know 60 or $80 seems like a lot to some people, but it's, we're giving you 30 minutes of us. So, but while we got other things going on, again, this is not our jobs right now, right? This is, we're all doing this. We're making a little bit of money, but we're all doing this just because we like doing this for the most part.
It's been a 10-year get rich quick scheme.
Yeah, right. And T-Dog's been all over it. He said we were only about 10% right, so maybe he's been listening for a while. But what he was real upset about was that we say, and we've been saying this forever, as if like basically
he listens all the time,
right? And I'm like, dude, no, we're just saying that because some people tune in and they don't know that that's just how we felt about this for a while. It might be your first or second time tuning in, like just to clear that up. Sometimes you got to say things multiple times because you don't know what audience is here, and the same audience is tired of you hearing it, but the new audience is like, oh, I didn't know that they've been doing it like this forever, right?
That's what made him mad.
Yeah, he was upset about that. So
yeah, see, this is the definition of a low. You need to,
and he said we were only 10% right, and I would like to say, like, I think we're a lot higher than 10.
Ranalytics, we need to come up with a business plan, bro. I'm gonna have you stand outside his house with a boombox, just talking about his meat.
Yeah, so
I would like to say that I think we're a lot higher than 10.
I
think we're better than 10% right.
I think so. I think I've been better than 10%.
It's just mad. It's just, why are you so mad? What did you do to make
everyone's so mad? And it's just it's a faceless situation where you don't, nobody has to own up to anything. It's it is what it is. AT&T's those people are doing a good job of it too. Like there's nobody gets to point a finger to them either. Like the little guy gets it. We could just give them back, and like the bigger guys, like, hey, I don't know who to tell you to talk to here, but this ain't me. You know what I mean? Like there's no the bad reviewer has no responsibility because he's faceless, and the big corporations are, yeah.
Cool.
Cam, that should be sorted out. But we appreciate you. I don't know why that's happening, but yeah, submit a ticket and they will get it figured out. Again, we're figuring all this out on the fly, and this is all very, very new to us. Like the website's really, it seems like it's been out a while, but it's been out for like 2 or 3 months. And we're figuring this out as we go, and things are going to break and not work. So
yeah, just hang tight. That happened to me while I was trying to submit. I was trying to resync my teams a couple times. Just be patient. Don't send us some sort of passive aggressive message in a video about it, please.
Since kind of fixed the submit tickets were kind of getting lost, and we've kind of fixed that now, so we'll be on the up and up of like when they come in immediately on them and stuff like that. So again, there's us three, there's a couple other, there's Jeremiah, there's Jason that edits and that's who comments on YouTube if you're commenting, and the website guy, and Jason helps out on the website. That's pretty much it. That's what's going on over here. So we appreciate you guys. So we'll catch you guys next week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Keep dialing in. We will have some redraft content from Chev and Jeremiah here relatively soon, and we're trying to get redraft on the website as soon as possible. but bear with us there because that's definitely going to be a big part of what we're doing moving forward too, is redraft on the website. But those things take time, and we got the roster reviews and we're redoing a couple other things. So Cam, we'll get you taken care of. Everybody else out there, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, everything, all that jazz. But until next time, Casey, Corey, Chev, we're out of here.
Triple C.
Later,
Look
later.
at that. Never noticed that.